What's up, everybody? We are back for another video, this time up close and personal. ASMR style. Ooh, ASMR. I love you. Thank you for joining me again. Nah, seriously, welcome back to the channel. Before I get into today's video, for any of you out there that are interested in working with Tim and myself to help resolve any issues with trying to manifest somebody old back or someone new, please don't hesitate to click the link in the comment section below or in the description to set up your free consultation with us. But I want to let you guys understand and know that when you guys sign up for a free consultation, this is not a free session. Do not think this is a free session. It is not a free session. We are not going to help you for free in this free consultation. It is just a consultation to see if Tim and I actually can help you or if we can't help you. All right. So I want you guys to remember that because I think some of you guys are signing up for these free consultations because you think you're going to get free advice. And that's just not going to work. Only sign up for a free consultation if you are actually interested in working with Tim and myself and you would like more information. All the information is already on the website. But if you would like more information or have questions, then obviously sign up for the free consultation. And then Tim and I will listen to whatever your situation is and we will determine if we can help you or not. Now, on to today's video. Some of you might be curious as to why Tim and I are so 3D oriented when pretty much all of the other LOA coaches are not 3D oriented. And you might be wondering, things that Tim and I talk about are not Neville related or they are not Neville's teachings. Sometimes people leave comments in my videos or Tim's videos and either some other content creators videos and they say, well, that's not Neville, that's not Neville. I want you guys to understand something. We know a lot of the stuff that we say is not Neville, but the problem lies in what so many of you guys that are studying law of assumption or law of attraction, because it's all the same shit. You guys have heard me say this religiously. So many people think that law of attraction, law of assumption isn't the same shit. It's the same shit. No matter how people might try to word it, no matter how people might try to sell you, it's all the same shit. What you have to understand is everything that you see that has manifested, there was so much stuff underneath the surface that allowed that manifestation to come into fruition. What do I mean by that? All we see is the final manifestation. That's what we see. But what we don't pay attention to is we don't pay attention to what it took to get to that final manifestation. And that's why Tim and I are always constantly reinforcing to you all about the 3D, especially when it comes to relationships and trying to manifest somebody old or somebody new back. You cannot necessarily ignore the 3D because everything that you see in the 3D, everything that is happening right now in the 3D is here only because of what happened underneath the surface. Think about this. Think about right now, you guys are looking at me. You guys, you see a person, you see a human, you see a man. But what is my makeup? My makeup is, first of all of the people that came before me, all of my progeny that came before me is number one. But most importantly, the makeup of the cells, the makeup of the neurons, the protons, the electrons, all of this stuff that we cannot see is the reason that I can exist today, is the reason that you can exist today. All of that stuff is 3D stuff, even though we can't see it. So again, in the physical form, you guys are looking at me right now, and you guys can see, oh, this is a human being. This is a person. What about all the stuff in the 3D that it took for me to get here? You can't ignore that. And that's what so many of you try to do in the 3D is you try to ignore everything that it's going to take for you to get your manifestation, whether that's a person or whether that's a job or whether that's whatever. What Tim and I are saying is you can't ignore all of this stuff that is leading you up to being able to get what you want. You can't ignore all of those moving pieces underneath of the surface, which is why, for instance, when Tim and I talk about manifesting somebody old back or somebody new back, you hear Tim and I talk about masculine and feminine. And then you hear those people in the comments or you hear other YouTubers talk about, oh, that's not important. That doesn't matter. No, it all matters because it all goes together. You can't have one without the other. All of these laws, the only law that people focus on or pay attention to, if you want to use those terms, laws, because quite frankly, I really don't like using a lot of these terms that we use in the community, but I only use it for the sake of talking to you guys because I know that's what you guys understand and that's what you guys listen to. But law of assumption or law of attraction is the only thing that people focus on. when it comes to manifesting. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself what makes law of assumption, law of attraction work? Let me tell you this, spoiler alert, it ain't just your beliefs. It's not. This is how surface level people are with these teachings. This is how surface level coaches are. This is how surface level a lot of people that follow this content are. They're so surface level with LOA. They think, oh yeah, my beliefs are what's gonna make law of assumption, law of attraction work. No, it is so much deeper than that. Again, I just mentioned to you masculine and feminine. What makes relationships work is that polarity, the law of polarity, which is never really discussed. See, again, I'm saying all of this to say all of these moving pieces underneath is what makes everything we see in the 3D work. We couldn't be here on Earth right now if it wasn't for everything that happened in outer space. If it wasn't for space being the way that it is, we couldn't be here. The stars, the planet, the particles, we are made up of the same material, all of that stuff. So you have to give that stuff credit, even though it's to the unseen eye for the most part, it exists. And it is the reason that we are able to be here and to be able to manifest and to be able to create. And this is why you constantly hear Tim and myself say constantly, we start where a lot of this advice ends. And we can take that shit all the way left. But most people don't want to hear that. They don't want to understand it. They don't care about it, quite frankly. They just want to know, can I get what I want? That's all you want to know. It's kind of like that old cliche saying, how are you going to know where you're going if you don't know where you come from? To me, that makes sense. All of you, you want to get stuff, but you don't even know where you came from. You want to get a person back. You don't even know why you want to get that person back. You want to get $1 million. You don't even want to know why you want to get $1 million. You just think getting $1 million is going to solve all your problems. And history has shown us that so many people have gotten what they wanted and they still suffer. They still take their own lives, or they're still not happy, or whatever the case might be. So how can you know where you're going if you don't know where you've came from? And that's why Tim and I always constantly talk about the 3D, is because we want you guys to understand the process. We want you to understand what is going on in the 3D underneath the surface, which is going to allow your manifestation to come into fruition. We want you to understand why your girlfriend or your boyfriend got mad at you when you did X, Y, and Z. We want you to understand that. We want you to understand taking action in the 3D. We want you to know all of these things. All of these things are important. So many of you think, oh, I don't need to know that. Oh, I don't need to know that. That's not important. Oh, that's not law of assumption. You're teaching something different. All right. Keep thinking that. Because like I'm telling you, all of this stuff goes together. And this is why so many people, they will get in a relationship and the relationship will fail. And this is why so many people will get somebody back and a relationship will still fail. It's because you don't understand the moving pieces in the 3D. You don't understand the stuff that's underneath the surface that is making relationships work. For instance, like I alluded to earlier, polarity. You don't understand how the masculine and the feminine is what attracts each other. You don't understand how two masculine energies repel and two feminine energies repel. You don't understand how your friends and your family got you in the situation that you are potentially in right now based on 3D stuff. You don't understand your true emotions, your true feelings. You don't understand what the real enemy is underneath the surface and in the 3D. See, what a lot of you don't realize, because you ignored the 3D so much, because you constantly hear that, you got to understand that in the 3D, for a lot of you, especially when you are unhealed, your emotions or feelings are your biggest enemy. They're not your friend. But because you hear so often to ignore the 3D and to never really focus on your emotions and your emotions don't matter and all of this other cliche sayings, your emotions and feelings often go unseen and unheard. And you don't realize you're making decisions based off of false emotions. A lot of you in this community, you think your feelings are facts. And I'm here to tell you that for a lot of you, especially for those that are unhealed, this is 100% not the case. Your feelings are not facts. And in fact, your feelings are lying to you a lot of the times. If the facts you have constructed have come from a low vibrational state, then that means your feelings are going to match those facts that you've constructed, which means your feelings are also going to be in a low vibrational state as well. So you are developing facts and feelings based on a low vibrational state that you have been in for however many years, based on whatever your past experiences are. And that now has become your truth. And that has become your old man or your old woman or your old self, as Neville Goddard would say. But you have to understand, in the 3D, that old man or old woman is not real. It's only real if you're keeping it alive. And it's only real if you are acting and thinking from the perspective of that old man or woman, which ultimately ends up causing you to start to believe what you feel. And then you identify those feelings as facts, even though they're not. And from that place, your feelings will try to convince you that everything you feel is real, even though it's not. The feelings themselves that you feel, yes, they are absolutely real, but they are not always facts. And the story behind those feelings isn't necessarily factual. See, we all have feelings based on a story that we have been telling ourselves about a certain situation in our life. And so, from that story that we have been telling ourselves, arrives the feelings associated with that story. But what we don't address is how true is the story that we are telling ourselves, or are we still living in the past, or are we still being that old man or woman? And so, since we never address this type of stuff in the 3D, what ends up happening is our feelings, they put on that mask and they mask themselves as being factual when they're really not factual. They're just lies. So it is important for all of you out there to check your feelings in the 3D, because this is one of the biggest reasons why people can't manifest, in my opinion, is because they are not checking their emotions in the 3D. You need to check yourself and ask yourself, are my emotions lying to me right now about this situation? Have I been lying to myself for years, months, whatever the time frame is, about this situation based on how I feel? Are my feelings facts? Because if you're honest with yourself, a lot of times the feelings that you feel are not facts, especially when they go unaddressed. If you've been one of those people that have unaddressed your feelings for years and you've just continued to get in relationship after relationship after relationship, I can pretty much assure you that a lot of your assumptions about relationships, or a lot of your assumptions about men, a lot of your assumptions about women are all false. They're all wrong. All because you never chose to do the 3D work, and you chose to never really look at your emotions and feelings, and you chose to believe your emotions as facts, especially from a broken state, or especially from a low vibrational state. So again, ask yourself, are your feelings facts? And if they are not, then check yourself. Based on the 3D, you have to ask yourself, these feelings that I'm currently feeling right now, what do they align with? And on top of that, you got to ask yourself, if I were the person that I wanted to be 5, 10 years from now, the person that is in that perfect relationship, the person that has the perfect job, perfect career, whatever it is, my life is all in alignment, would I be feeling these feelings that I am currently feeling right now? You all know the answer to that question. So you have to get yourself into a state to where in the present moment, in the 3D, those current emotions are in alignment with whoever your future self is going to be. Because right now, pretty much most of you watching this video, your current feelings and emotions are in alignment with who you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, and so on. And this is exactly why you can't manifest, or you are finding yourself having a hard time manifesting, is because you're not in the present moment. Number one. Number two, you're not in the present moment having those feelings or those emotions of the future person that you want to be, with that perfect relationship or that perfect job. And as Tim and I always say, this stuff ain't easy, especially in the 3D, because you have to really train yourself to get to the point to where that you can align your current emotions and feelings to think, feel, behave, and act as that person would 5, 10, 20 years from now. And this is the reason you constantly hear people in the community discuss repetition, because that's what it takes. This is why you hear Joe Dispenza talking about every day doing a meditation, doing a walking meditation, or doing a regular meditation, because you literally have to retrain your mind. It's like going to the gym. You can't go to the gym one day a week and think that your muscles are going to grow, or go to the gym once a month and think that your muscles are going to grow. No, you got to go to the gym every single week, multiple times a week for the most part. You don't got to go every day, but you got to go multiple times a week usually to see some changes. And manifestation is the same way. There is a 3D element to manifestation that we cannot escape, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much coaches may tell you the 3D doesn't matter, ignore the 3D. I can tell you right now, ignoring the 3D has done so much damage to so many people, because of the regurgitated information and them not knowing what's true, what's false. If you want to become a powerful manifester, if you want this stuff to start to become easy, you have to basically look in the mirror and face what you've been avoiding for a very long time. And that is all of the stuff underneath the surface, all of the laws that are underneath the surface. We have the law of assumption, you have the law of vibration, you have the law of polarity. Again, all of these laws are working together simultaneously, basically, in order to make the ultimate stage, which is the law of assumption, to work. With law of assumption, the problem is since everybody focuses on the law of assumption, most people have no idea where, when, or how they messed up when applying the law of assumption. And the reason they don't know is because they don't understand, like I'm saying, in the 3D and underneath the surface, they don't understand all of the levels that go underneath to make law of assumption work. So when you know the laws, or when you have a situation and you can pinpoint exactly where you messed up, it makes it a lot easier to correct. But the problem with so many people is because they've been told to ignore vibration, because they've been told to ignore polarity. When a polarity situation happens in their relationship, or when a vibration situation happens in their relationship, or whatever the case may be, they don't know, oh, this was just a vibrational situation that I have to address. Oh, this is just a polarity situation that I have to address. Once I address this polarity situation, my relationship is going to be fixed. It's going to be better. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be a hell of a lot better than what it has been. But see, you don't know that because you've been only taught to study and focus on law of assumption. I liken this example to the human body. For instance, if you are having a certain pain or something in your human body and you don't know where that pain is coming from, all you know is that you feel pain, but you don't know why you feel pain. What I'm saying is, and this is most people in the LOA community, most people don't know where the pain is coming from. They don't know why they experience the pain and all of that type of stuff. Same thing with this human body example. But with the human body example, if you know magnesium, if you know phosphorus, if you know potassium, if you know sodium, if you know your body is deficient, if you know the symptoms that go with deficiencies with these minerals and these vitamins, then you know, oh, I'm feeling this symptom. This must mean I'm low in potassium. Oh, I'm feeling this symptom. This must means I'm low in sodium, or I'm high in sodium. Oh, this must mean that my phosphorus levels are off. You know where to pinpoint and where to fix it because you know underneath the surface, oh, all I got to do is take a magnesium supplement and I'm going to be okay. And then boom, the pain goes away, or whatever side effect or ailment you were feeling, it no longer exists because you knew, you had the knowledge of knowing, okay, this is what I had to do to address this. With LOA, with law of assumption, most of you guys have no clue what's really causing the problem and how to fix it. You feel the side effect, but you don't know what's causing the side effect. And on top of that, you don't know what am I going to do to fix this side effect. Again, because you've only been focused on law of assumption and you haven't been figuring out what are all the parts that make it work? It's like a car. What are all the parts that make a car run? A car doesn't just run because of the engine. There's a bunch of parts that make a car all run smoothly together. And the engine is one part. In law of assumption, there are a bunch of moving parts that make law of assumption work. And you guys don't focus on none of them because everybody in YouTube videos and comment section says, oh, the only thing that matters is law of assumption. Well, keep believing that because that type of thinking is the exact reason that you're going to stay stuck exactly where you are.